Okay, today's episode, we're going to give this cabin another coat of epoxy primer. It's already had one coat from the sandblasters, but since then I've opened it up for more repairs and sanded a few bits back, used a bit of body filler, so there's a lot of sort of open areas on this cabin since I've done all that. So yeah, that's the reason why I want to give it another coat of epoxy, just to completely seal it all up. So I do plan on coating the inside and then also the outside as well. So I have been doing a fair bit of body filler work and sanding back. It's all been sort of off camera. It's a little bit sort of boring, tedious work that I didn't really think was necessary to film. It's just, I'm sure you guys don't want to watch a guy just sanding a cabin. So before I put another coat of epoxy on, there is a few things I still have to do. So with these repairs here, I've opened it up and it's basically been exposed bare metal, and I've just covered it with the etch primer just to protect it for the time being. But what I will do is sand the etch primer back off, and I'm going to coat it with epoxy primer. And then once the epoxy's laid on there and dried, I'm going to smooth it off with the body filler. So I have been told that you want the epoxy to be laid onto the bare metal, as it's the last line of defense for the steel. So you want the epoxy on first, and then the body filler over the top of that. So I'll put some epoxy over there. I've got to do some on the roof as well. So this roof has still had a bit of oil canning, so I've sort of done a bit of heat shrinking here as well. So I'm going to have to put epoxy back over there as well, and then also just these repairs here. So I'll sand all that back. So I've just sanded these sections back to bare metal, so I'll go over them with some wax and grease remover, and then I can spray a layer of epoxy over there and on the roof, let that dry overnight. So with the epoxy that I will be using is this stuff from Flow Right Coatings. So I'll mix some of that up and spray it on. So I've just sprayed that epoxy on them sections, so I've let that dry overnight. So what I'm going to do now is just give it a light sand over, probably with just some 120 grit, and then I'll be able to apply the body filler over the top. Okay, so ready to apply the body filler, I thought I would just talk about some of the products that I am using. So this was the original body filler I was using, and I found that was not very good at all. It was just causing little pinholes. And I just didn't like that product. But since I've reached out and done a bit of research into some good products, and I ended up going for this product by U-Pol. It's a Dolphin Premium Body Filler. And I found this to be really good. It's easy to work with, it's really smooth, and it's very creamy. It doesn't cause pinholes, and it's really easy to sand as well. So I really like that product by U-Pol. I've also been using this Fibril Light. So this is a sandable fiberglass filler, and what I've been doing is any areas that are a bit thicker and require a bit of strength, I've been going over with the Fibril Light, and then over the top of that I've been using the premium body filler. So areas like this here, I've went with the fiberglass just to get that strength up. It gets a little bit thin up here, so you want to have a bit more strength there. So use the fiberglass and then go over the top with the body filler. So that works out to be pretty good. But I really recommend both these products. I think they work really well together. They also take the same hardener as well, so that makes it a lot simpler with the one hardener as well. So I'll put a link in the show notes for both these products. I ordered them from eBay, so I'll put the eBay links for both of them in the show notes. So the cabin is all smoothed off now and ready to apply the epoxy. So just with the roof, it's come out not too bad. You can see that there's a few highs there where it's kind of rubbed through and showing the bare metal. But yeah, the roof was a bit of a dog's breakfast, so I don't think you can really help that. But yeah, it's not too bad. So I just had to apply a layer and then sand that back and then apply another layer and then sand that back. I've done that about 3 or 4 times. And yeah, it's come out not too bad. So with the roof, I just used this block here to keep working it. And yeah, that turned out pretty good using that block. With these corner sections, yeah, they're all done as well. So same thing, had to apply the body filler, sand it back and then apply another layer. And yeah, just keep sort of working it till it come out, yeah, nice and smooth, and there was no sort of holes or anything. And then yeah, with the rest of the cabin, I just gone over it with some 80 and 150 grit sandpaper. So any areas that had a bit of etch primer, I've just sanded that back to get it back to the bare steel. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is make up a temporary spray booth. So I've got some of these drop sheets here. So I'll use them to make up a bit of a booth. And then I can start mixing up the epoxy and lay it on. So I will be using this DeVilbiss GPI. So this is a gun that was recommended from a YouTube channel that I watch called The Gunman. So he does a lot of reviews on different spray guns, and yeah, pretty much good bang for buck and a good all-round gun is this yeah, DeVilbiss GPI. So far it's been an awesome gun. I don't really have anything to compare it to because I'm not a spray painter and it's pretty much the only gun I've really used, but all in all it's been, yeah, an awesome gun so far. So I'll put a link in the show notes for this gun if you are interested in purchasing it. Just put up the drop sheets and I've masked up all the areas, and yeah, I'll start wiping it down, start mixing up the epoxy and can start spraying it. Okay, so it's a new day and I've just let this epoxy dry overnight, and really stoked with how it's turned out. So it's a good relief to finally get this cabin all sealed up. It was a lot of work to get to this point. There's a lot of sanding and yeah, just a lot of body work to get it, yeah, nice and smooth and ready for the epoxy. So yeah, it's nice relief to have it sealed up. So yeah, the roof's turned out pretty good. It seems to be reasonably smooth. I think it's probably going to need like a blocking back and then a layer of high field primer to take out any sort of slight imperfections. Yeah, it seems pretty good, but I think there is maybe slight little sort of highs in there where the metal was sort of sticking through when I was sanding it back. So yeah, hopefully the high fill will take out that. Yeah, these gutters turned out nice and smooth. So yeah, happy with that. These corner sections, yeah, it turned out nice and smooth as well. So I decided to I decided to leave that line out of here. So most people put that line in here, but I just, yeah, decided to leave it out. Just, yeah, trying to make it look as smooth as I can. So yeah, that's the reason why I've left that line out. So yeah, that sort of follows that seal panel up here. So yeah, happy with that. So yeah, the firewall, yeah, that's turned out nice as well. The other side gutter. And yeah, all the inside is all sealed up as well and up in the roof there. So I'm a little bit undecided where to go from here. So still got a lot to do. I was sort of thinking I might paint the inside of the cab and get the sound deadener in. I've also got to spray the firewall before I put it onto the chassis, just because the engine and stuff's going to be in the way of the firewall. So yeah, I might as well spray that before I put it on. So I've got a few things to do there before it can go back onto the chassis. So I also need to start thinking about getting all these inner guards, the outer guards, radiator support, the doors, getting everything all stripped back and epoxied. So I'll probably send off what I can to the sandblaster so they can blast them and epoxy them. With the doors, you don't want to blast them because it'll warp on the outside here, so it'll just all warp through there. So I'll probably just use paint stripper on these, possibly. They might be able to sandblast around areas that have some strength. So I could possibly get that done at the blaster, and then yeah, the actual outside I can just use a paint stripper. Same as these guards as well. So yeah, I'll probably get all them stripped back. I think the doors are probably going to need some sort of repair work. I think anything like the rest of the cabin and all the dodgy work that was done previously, I think the doors will probably need some sort of work, I'm guessing, because in here you can just see there's some cracks in there, so that sort of tells me that there's bog and stuff in there. So yeah, once I strip it, then I'll have to assess it then. These guards up here, I want to smooth all them off, so I want to kind of get rid of yeah, all that there and maybe smooth off there as well, just make them guards really smooth for in the engine bay. So yeah, got a bit to do still. So yeah, I'm just a little bit undecided on sort of where to go to from here. Okay, so if you want to help support the channel, head over to the Shenke Garage merch store. So we got t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve t-shirts, various sizes and colors there. So I'll put a link in the show notes below. So hit that link and that'll take you to the merch store. I'll also put a link to all the products that I used in the show notes below. So yeah, click on that link. That'll take you to the eBay site for them products. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I think I'm coming up to 3,000 subscribers. So yeah, it would mean a lot if you could help me out and hit that subscribe button. So yeah, I think that's about it. We'll leave it with that and we'll see you next time on Shenke Garage. Cheers guys.